Vortex here, welcome to my review of the Soundpeats Q. Full disclaimer, these were sent out to me to review by the company themselves. I was not paid anything for this video and all the thoughts and opinions are my own. And yeah, as you can see, these are a true wireless. That's what they look like, that's the kind of fit. And yeah, let's get into the video. So that's just, like I said in unboxing, that's just a box. Mine are the black ones, they come in black and white, mine are the black ones. There's just some address information there. Actually Germany as well, which is, didn't expect that. Sound for urban sports. TWS MC sync. These can be used individually and both. Dual mic noise cancellation and 10mm large driver. And yeah, that's not much to say really, but that's just how they look and that's just kind of how they fit. So yeah, let's actually get into the content. So, accessories it came with. This is just a box, nothing special about it. Padding. In here was the tips and the charge cable, which I'll show you in a second. So 2 years warranty, which is good. Free trial privilege. I'm not sure what that involves. Prompt social online service and latest product promotions. So obviously QR codes for each. Facebook, their official site, and Line. I don't know what that is, but that's all you get. Cardboard, so it's recyclable. Charge cable, which is probably just about long enough. Full size USB to Type C, which is basically the standard nowadays. And you get 2 pairs of tips, small and large. It does come with mediums fitted, which is always seems to be the way. That's that. The padding just sat in the top there. The buds themselves, so I'll just quickly show you. Nothing on the bottom, charging on the back. It's got the brand there, Soundpeats. Just says power on. Obviously it wants to pair to a previous device, but if you want to pair to a new device, you hold, that's actually a button right here. So you hold that for a couple of seconds, around 3 seconds, then it will start pairing to a new device. And if you do hold that down for 10 seconds, it wipes all the memory, so what it's paired to. And that's it, that's just the case. Customer care, 2 years warranty, which is good. Contact information. Soundpeats. And again there. And the actual user guide, which is quite useful to fully understand it. Looks like 7 languages. And yeah. And I've also done a microphone test, which I will include later in the video as well. So Soundpeats, they seem to be like a sister company to Dudios as well, which I've tried a couple of their items from. And yeah, let's get into the actual guide, because this part's quite important, because these are not straightforward to use. So it's the user guide, Soundpeats. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 different languages. So just pairing, obviously when you open the lid by default, it will try and pair to something that you've already done. So open the case, make sure there's enough power left in the buds, left and right will pair to each other automatically, with the prompt suggests to successfully connect. Then please press and hold the button of the charging case until the indicator of the case starts to flash, and then it starts to pair. Basically that part's for a new device. If you've already paired it to something before, you don't have to do the second part. Activate the Bluetooth on your device and hit Soundpeats Q. Then you'll connect. Really straightforward, that part is. How to factory reset, like I said before. Press it, put them both back in the case. Press and hold the charge case for 10 seconds. Kind of way to kind of maneuver into your ear. Controls, this is quite important. These also can be used individually, but obviously these do have, let's go to the right one. So if you tap each one once, just once, volume control goes up or the volume goes down. 2 taps, play, pause, answer call, end call. 3's for an assistant. 1.5 seconds holding is end the call and next track. And there you can see that there. What the actual buttons do. MFB stands for multifunction button. Again, that's just basically a text summary of the one I've just shown you. So they can do quite a bit. Q&A there. What the lights actually mean, which is quite important. And I think that's it. Yeah, into German. That's it. So what you're going to hear now is actually a very brief microphone test I did of these. And then it'll be on to the review section. This is just a quick mic test of the Soundpeats Q. I'm in a quiet room, just speaking normal volume, blah blah blah, just normal kind of speech. Volume level seems kind of quiet, and this is what it sounds like. So on to the review section. Obviously you just heard a microphone test. I didn't think it was that great, but these are not expensive. As of this video, these are around £22 on Amazon UK. So I bear that in mind. So anyway, this is the case. Not much magnetic strength sometimes with these. It's quite a strong magnet, so it clips into place. The magnets aren't that strong. Obviously there's the MFB, the multifunction button. The case isn't that small. Some cases actually quite smaller, and that's it. So the buds themselves, that's the shape. Take these off. So small lip to keep them on, L. Also the other one stays R. Obviously you can see it's trying to connect. Obviously I've got no Bluetooth on, so they won't find anything. They do a good job of keeping them secure. Very unique, kind of subtle finish. Obviously there's the brand. You can see my fingerprints. That's what they look like. I'll get into how these work. So I found as a negative, unfortunately, is when you press them, there's a delay between anything happening. So you have to be careful you don't do it again in case you did like a mispress. So I didn't really like the delay kind of part. So you have to do it, then wait, and then it does it. Just don't do it and then do it straight after, because you'll probably double kind of trigger what you've just done. But they're very light. The actual comfort of these was actually pretty fine. I had no real issues with how they fit. Just have to make sure, like in the image, you have to make sure they're in your ear, and then you adjust kind of to your ear really. Let's get on to actual sound. So obviously these are not an expensive pair compared to some of the ones I've done before. These have Bluetooth 5 as well, the standard these days. And actually, yeah, let's go into battery life. So battery life for these is around 6 to 6.5 hours, which is not bad actually. It's actually quite good for the actual price range they're in. I said there's not much weight to them, but yeah, battery life is actually quite good. 6 to 6.5 hours depending on the actual volume, so that's actually quite good. But yeah, anyway, sound a little bit different with these. I'll go straight into the mids. The upper mids are far too high, so vocals sound really forward, but it makes it sound unnatural, and they're a bit sharp. And that same goes to any instruments that are in that kind of range. I don't know how these graph, so I'm just going from what I've heard. But the upper mids, lower treble is like it's kind of too bright. But if you're just using these just to talk to people, it makes them sound very clear. But for music, I didn't really like that. But for speech, it does help. So there is a benefit to it. The low end of these, I found a slightly lean mid bass with a bit of a oomph towards the sub bass, which is not too bad, but it didn't sound very controlled. But again, these are not expensive earbuds, so I have to consider that. I've tried ones which are obviously a lot more expensive, but yeah, the low end was okay. It just could be a touch tighter really. but the vocals is probably more of the problem with these. If they tamed the upper mid to lower treble section, these would actually be quite good in that section. Again, these do generally have a brighter sound to them. If you don't like that, then these aren't for you. If you do like really forward vocals, then these are the ones for you. But yeah, like I said before, the button, the kind of delay, so you have to bear that in mind. So don't press it, then press it again straight after. You have to let it do what it needs to do. They've actually got volume control on them as well, which is just a single tap each, which is quite useful. Saves you getting your phone out to adjust the volume. Connectivity, I had random dropouts for like no reason, but then other times it was quite stable. So that's kind of a little bit peculiar. That could be my phone, could be how they actually are. But apart from that, the connectivity between them seemed fine. They didn't drop much from the like if the phone was close, it was fine, or even 8 meters away, it was fine. Or even a call, it would like randomly drop. So it might be a chipset or an antenna issue, I'm not quite sure. But the actual overall functionality these was actually, they work quite fine. Again, they are priced very competitively. Again, to the isolation of these, isolation I found was pretty good. I had no real issues with that. Again, like with the fit and how they generally work overall was kind of fine. Just the random kind of dropouts and the button lag and the shouty kind of sound are really the only kind of negatives. But yeah, the case, as you say, it's not a small case, but it's not a big case. The build quality of these seems fine. Just what they look like there. Kind of subtle. And yeah, on to the conclusion. So my conclusion of this Soundpeats Q. A couple of flaws really, which should really kind of be addressed because they're in a very competitive market. So flaws really is the kind of dropouts they have. The vocals are really, really forward, which could be a positive or a negative, just depending on your use case. So you see, build quality is fine. And the button lag, so you have to bear that in mind. So when you press the button, make sure you wait for the action to take place. But for the actual price, the overall functionality of these is fine, really. Good battery life, the fit's good. It depends on your music, but the overall sound is okay. Obviously, it's not perfect, like I've said. They do a lot of functionality. They do support the actual assistants, the voice assistants. And yeah, that's it really. Overall, they're okay, but they could do really those things kind of get fixed because they are in a competitive field at that price. And thanks for watching and take care.